ChatGPT just released its brand new image model, and it's bananas. Yes, that's right. I think this new model really rivals NanoBanana. They've enhanced the image model overall, but they've also given us a bunch of new style tools to play with. When you go into ChatGPT, there's a new images menu item. They have given us a ton of new styles to try out, and this is the first place you're probably going to want to play. You just upload a picture of yourself, and you can turn yourself into an ornament, into a sugar cookie. That's pretty excellent. I can see what I would look like if I were in the girl with the pearl earring painting. I can take a not so great photo of my dog and transform him into a plushie. Okay, yes. I can even see what my dog would look like as the girl with the pearl earring. And of course, these are a ton of fun to play with, and you should definitely go do that. But one of the things that the OpenAI image model has kind of struggled with recently and fallen behind Nano Banana is making small tweaks to the photo, like changing the color of somebody's shirt or altering a photo, trying to keep the same image of a person in a photo and changing the background elements or maybe an outfit or other details around that person. But I think ChatGPT has finally nailed it with this model. One of the things I tried to do recently with ChatGPT is take this image of me with a AI'd burnt turkey, and I just wanted to change the color of my shirt to white. But this is the best that ChatGPT could do. I mean, it did get the shirt white, but it kind of created a staticky, snow-covered, kind of a mess of a picture. I eventually had to go over to Nano Banana to get what I wanted. So I asked the new ChatGPT to do the same thing with the new model. Take this photo, change the black shirt into a white shirt. This time, it did it no problem. So that's fixing existing photos. But how does it do at creating brand new images from scratch? So just like in other image generation models, the more photos you can add for reference, I think the better outcome you get. So I added a couple of photos of myself and asked for an image of me walking through a Kincaid style painting. And I asked it to make everything, to make me photorealistic, but make the background like a Thomas Kincaid painting. And I think it did a really fantastic job because I do look real, but it also looks almost like I'm sort of melting into the photo. I was really impressed with this. And remember, it only started out with just headshots. I feel like that's a pretty natural looking image of a person walking. The body movement, I think, is really pretty good. So next I wanted to test, can it keep that same image while you're changing things in the background? So naturally, I asked it to add a few elements in the background. Again, it nailed it. I mean, if Thomas Kincaid had painted dinosaurs as well as light, I'm pretty sure that's what it would look like. And it did a great job keeping the image of the woman walking along the exact same as it was before. All right, so let's keep testing this. All right, I started out with a just pretty basic image of myself wearing safari gear. Excellent. And I would say it did a really fantastic job of keeping this part of the image exactly the same and just adding the background. So I added another photo of me sort of running scared with good reason. So I will say, I did give it a little bit more leeway. I didn't need to keep this exact same stance. I really more wanted the feel of the stance and the style of the previous image. And I think it definitely nailed it. But the real fun comes in because you can combine different photos and different styles and change the elements within an individual image. So I added a couple of photos along with a photo of myself and asked for an image of the three of us sitting eating hamburgers at a picnic table. Brilliant. I think this is my dog's dream. But how about some individual changes now? Let's make Einstein a plushie and me an ink drawing. Yeah, that's pretty nice. All right, so you can see really how much they have kept of the photo, but really just changed the style. I think that's great. So next up, we're in the Arctic. Now, at this point, I probably would have taken the hamburger away, but Smokey was way too happy. There was no way I could do that to him. So this kind of seamless style change is really what we were seeing with Nano Banana, but I had not been able to get ChatGPT to really replicate that. So this is really pretty cool. And then finally, I think since the three of us are on an adventure anyway, let's make it official. Coming soon to a theater near you. So I would say that's pretty wildly successful. I will say I tried a couple of other things and had more what you would expect to see, which is a few things it had a little bit of trouble with, a couple things it didn't get quite right in the beginning. Since I'm on YouTube, and it seems like everybody on YouTube is running a marathon these days, I asked it to imagine the kind of marathon that I would be able to complete. You know, the one with like the turtles and the snails, because I'm not very fast. I got this, which is pretty good, except I'm not sure why I'm running backwards or sideways. So I did ask it to redo this and kind of fix it so that everybody was running the same direction. And I got this, which I have to say I kind of love, but, and maybe it's pretty accurate that I alone would be going the wrong direction, but it's definitely had a few problems with direction, but also with the text. You see the text in the background? I think this is supposed to say persistence pays off. There's actually quite a few problems in the text if you look at it closely. So while I do love the spirit of this, it's not without its occasional problems still. However, it does give us some editing tools. So now you can kind of select areas that you want to change. I think that text is supposed to say persistence pays off, and it will go change it. All right, that is better. What else will it let us do though? Can I change the color of my shirt? Change the shirt to green with a turtle on it. Okay, that looks pretty good. I did somehow lose a hand in the update, so I think this looks like a work still in progress. But overall, I have to say, this is really pretty charming and a lot of fun to play with. So I asked it for a couple more infographics. I just wanted to test the text and really logic functionality. This is a how to decide what to make for dinner flowchart. This one, it actually struggled with a little bit. I will say the words are all legible, but in terms of it being a flowchart, it's not actually very helpful. Time reality check. If you have 15 minutes, make eggs. 30 minutes, tacos or stir fry. 60 plus minutes, if you dare to do what? I'm not sure. This loop is feeding back in on itself, but it is definitely a textually correct flowchart. I asked it to do an infographic about how to make cereal, and that was actually pretty solid. Choose your favorite cereal, add it to a bowl, milk and a spoon. Cereal time tips, try adding fruit, use a fun bowl, okay? And how to make nachos. Again, a little light on actual information, but definitely high on detail, and the text all looked really good. And now I want nachos. So overall, ChatGPT is saying that this new model is just a little bit better in general at following instructions. You ask for a 6x6 grid. In the old one, you might not get 6x6. In the new one, you should. Additionally, across the board, I think they're saying that most things will just start to get incrementally better. But apparently, this one made me laugh because one of the problems they've had apparently is with large crowds. If this is what it would generate previously, and this is what it's coming up with now, I would say that is definitely an improvement. They are still calling out a few limitations. If you have a huge group photo and you ask for something like put everybody in the same shirt and have them smile, they're saying that's a limitation. They're still going to have trouble rendering everybody's face correctly. If you are asking for multilingual infographics, they're saying that still might be a limitation. That still is something that they're working on. But overall, it does look like, at least the images that they're giving us, everything is just an incremental, just really a step forward. If this is the new and this is the old, like I would have said, yeah, that's a pretty good image, but seeing them side by side, yeah, that one is just clearly better. This one, I mean, if you look at the shadows, that's pretty impressive. This definitely, I could believe that's a photo, not AI. And again, these both look really good, but seeing them side by side, this one now just looks much more realistic, and this one just looks a little bit artificial. So it is really interesting to see the step change that this model has made. Although being able to edit a photo and have individual elements within the photo be so alterable is actually a pretty huge step forward. But if everything else is also moving incrementally better, that's just very impressive. This is a really impressive release. This is rolling out starting today to everyone. So I believe everybody should have access to this model. There might be limited image generations on various plans. I've been playing with it quite a bit. I'm on the Plus plan, the $20 a month plan, and I have not run into any limitations, but I would imagine, as usual, during rollout, they are generally pretty generous with their allotment. And then as time goes by, they have to kind of reel that back in a little bit. So go out and play while you can. So is it better than Nano Banana? I'd say it's at least as good, if not maybe a little bit better in some specific instances. I like the interface in ChatGPT more. I like that they've given us a bunch of styles to select from and just go play. They said they're hoping to spark the imagination, and I have to say, I feel like it really did. I know I went and got a subscription to Google Gemini AI, in part so I could have greater access to the Nano Banana image generation, but I think this is on par with that generation, so I feel like that value add from my Gemini subscription has kind of lost its luster. I do think I'll continue experimenting with both to see if one ends up being a clear winner for me, but for now, I have to say I am super impressed. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.